There we go. Cancel that. There. All right. Let's see here. All right, we're live, kind of, but sort of, but not really. I'm waiting on Travis right now.
Hey man, I'm here. We're good.
All right. Travis is here, so we
Yes.
have some topics to talk about tonight. Not necessarily
we do.
topics I really wanted to talk about, but again, there never really is anything I really want to talk about other than
Hey
other
man,
stuff. But
we could do a down home cooking food chat if you want.
but I do want to put this out here. I'm going to share Instagram real quick. Liberals are having a fit over Donald Trump Jr.'s Instagram picture that he posted. Check this out. They're having a fit over this.
Well, I think rabbits everywhere are just being tired of being hunted and they're ready to do something about it,
They're ready to strike back against the enemy.
Look, it's a joke. Well, if people that appreciated firearms just understood the joke behind it, the little star above, and they come and take it with the Easter eggs,
Yeah. I don't know. I don't understand why they can't just appreciate the awesomeness that is, guns. I don't know.
I think it just scares them because it's the Easter Bunny and it's supposed to be wholesome and it's supposed to be,
Right.
a family thing and it's supposed to be fun and it's more of a joke for the older crowd, I think, really.
All right, let's see if I can. People couldn't see it, so I'm resharing it. So hold on. Yeah, there it goes. It's showing now. So there you go. They're angry about this picture, Travis. I don't understand why.
I don't know.
I don't know either. It's a good picture.
There is that. I won't say the name over the air, but there is that that Japanese cartoon that has the rabbits that have the guns on it. You remember that one? That tactical cartoon was like a 15-minute episode.
Yeah.
Where they're storming the desert and they're trying to rescue the trapped animal or whatever. They're trying to save it.
Yeah.
It's like Snafu 1 or something like that. That it was on YouTube.
I think it was Snafu or something like that. I don't know. So so welcome to Hit or Miss. It's just me tonight, and I would have other panelists, but they never show up. So, I've got Travis. Travis is here. Apparently Warsaw Patriot is not here. He's probably busy. So, there he is. Out in the chat, we've got Kingpin being first. We got Sam of Anarchy 92 being second. Ryan Wilson is third. Daniel's out there. He's fourth, unfortunately, but it's how it goes. We'll probably get more people in as it goes, but yeah, we're here tonight. Anyways, so we got topics, Travis. What do you want to talk about first? What do you want to go over?
Well, I mean, the thing on everybody's minds is, what kind of preventative measures can we take to stop Biden from trying to pass or push forth any kind of legislation that he wants to push forth for the redefinition of receivers or defining receivers or not receivers, whatever we want to call them,
Well, if he completely continues to fail, like we know he will with how he's running the government, I think all we need to do is just wait until November.
Yeah.
I don't mean to say this to be bad or I'm being literal because I mean everyone I've talked to in the state of South Carolina are pissed off at gas prices. I mean, like immensely. They're pissed off at the fact that they're pissed off at the inflation caused by the Biden administration. And I'll tell you what, right now, his approval rating may be like 30-something%, but I'll tell you right now, in South Carolina, it's probably like 5. That's how pissed off people are, man. I'm not kidding. They would rather have anybody other than Biden.
Yeah. Well, it's kind of funny how gas prices are just starting to creep down a little bit, and then some people are saying, well, you're probably gonna see them go back to just under $2 a gallon again right before the elections come up again in the fall.
So, and Daniel's saying World War III is about to kick off. No, it's not, because Biden's dragging his ass. He's not going to get into any conflict whatsoever. And I don't think Russia's stupid enough to attack a NATO nation. They'd rather just continue attacking Ukraine and letting the world, watch them as they stomp on the Ukraine. And if they succeed, great. But if they don't succeed and they get their asses whooped, well, that just shows you that the Soviet boogeyman isn't the Soviet boogeyman anymore. Right, Travis?
What is the status right now with Russia and Ukraine? Are we at a stalemate? Or are they backing off? Do we know anything new?
From what I heard last night and yesterday, the Russian Black Sea Fleet's flagship got sunk. And they're saying it may have been a missile or a rocket attack on the ship. And the Russians are saying it was just the fire that sunk the ship. And I'm like, a fire? What's more likely, considering it was right next to the Ukraine? A missile or a fire? I'm going to go with the missile. That seems much more likely than a fire, where they've got at least a dozen fire extinguishers on a destroyer anyways. Okay, they've got to have at least a dozen fire extinguishers. Every military does, on a ship. So, and the Russians are starting to move westwards, and they're attacking Lviv. But that's the problem. They're shelling and using missiles and rockets on Lviv. But the problem is, one stray rocket from the Russian artillery goes straight into Poland, because Poland's right next to Lviv. And they invoke Article 5 because Poland really wants to attack Russia. They really want to fight the Russians for some reason. I don't know why, but they do. It must be all that pent up aggression from that Russian oppression from.
Well, they might not be happy with all the Ukrainian refugees that are getting pushed their way because of Russia either. Now
that's a good point. That is a good point.
Just give us a reason to go in there and make this stop. Yeah.
Just give us 5 minutes with the Russians alone. We'll fix this.
I'm just surprised that a miscellaneous rocket hasn't just made its way across the border yet. I'm really surprised. But how close are the Russians actually fighting within the Polish border? Are they just going right up to the line and just not crossing it, or what do you think?
Well, apparently Lviv, technically the distance between Lviv and the border is like 20 miles. They say.
Okay.
But that's still within a close enough distance that the Russians can have one really shitty gunner shoot in the wrong direction, and it could hit Poland.
Yeah.
So, but again, this is all just hearsay.
Yeah.
And Sam of Anarchy shows a good point. On most destroyers, they have sprinkler systems to prevent fire, and a sprinkler system would have kicked in if there was a standard fire on board that ship. So,
you think it's something that hit them that knocked out their systems and basically just destroyed it?
I believe a missile probably was targeted at their engines or their power plant, and that completely just disabled the ship and caused it to sink.
Anyway, a javelin could have done that.
A javelin, maybe, or
it'd have to be within like 2 miles of it. Though. I don't think it hit it from that close. But.
Yeah, a javelin. It could have been a something from an airplane. We don't know. It could have been from a missile system. We don't know. But again,
So why do you think the Russians are lying about it then? Why do you think they're trying to cover it up?
Because the Russians don't want to show people they're having the hardest time of their life, and they're, in some areas they're getting their butts kicked. They want well, at least the hierarchy, the guys on top, the ones in charge of the government and the military, they want to show the world that they're still the Soviet, the Soviet boogeyman. When in reality, you're looking at Ukraine, and they're not the Soviet boogeyman anymore. They're like, the Ukrainians are more imposing than they are.
Yeah, man, I don't know where it's going to go. It's just crazy right now, but hopefully it doesn't get any.
Right now, we're just discussing this because I saw a ridiculous picture once. The Knives sent me this one. Let me see if I can pull this up.
All right.
He sent me a picture of this, showing me, once that ship got hit the other night, and here, let me see if I can screen share this properly. You guys see this? Is it showing up?
Yep.
Let's see. Here.
Yeah.
I'm waiting for it. I'm waiting for it on the YouTube side. But yeah. The Knives sent me this one. This one's pretty good. Yeah. And the title of this one was like, okay, this is getting out of hand. I was the title for this one. See the John Deere tractor trying to tow it. That's pretty good. Mr. Knives, as you're out there, that's the greatest one.
I get some humor out of that, especially being in an ag-based economy environment. So
right, I took a lot of ag courses.
It's pretty much the tractor pretty much bails out everybody. So
my brother sent me another one. Let me see if I can find that one. Let's see. I'm sorry, I got to get some of these out here because some of these are hilarious. Okay. All right, here they are. Let's see. All right. Here are some more of these images of, check this one out. This one's pretty good. I don't know if they can see that on the YouTube side.
Tractor Force instead of Space Force.
It's not showing up on the YouTube side. Hold on. There.
That's awesome.
See if it shows up on the YouTube side for them. So I want them to see this because this is funny stuff. There's that one, and then there's this one. I don't know. Let me get it.
I like that.
There we go. The apex predator waiting for its prey. That's what this one's titled.
It's awesome, man.
So, and you can see the ship sinking in the distance. He's ready. He's ready for it. All right.
We'll get
it.
Get it.
So, jokes aside, we're done. We're done with the jokes. But yeah, there's stuff going on. There's stuff going on in the world, and not all of it's good. There a lot of it's bad. And as far as what's going on with our tyrant in chief, honestly, he's only going to be able to push his gun control narrative and envelope so far. I honestly believe that he's pushing the envelope so far left to the point of which everybody is going to want to vote for somebody other than a Democrat in this next election. I think that's what they're doing.
I hope so. I mean, I really hope we see some major changes. I don't know, man. It's just crazy right now.
Yeah. And Daniel, I don't think Russia's been saying, oh, if anybody else gets involved, you'll see a war you have never seen before. We've already have. He took a bunch of nuclear power plants because hey, let's show him we're the big Soviet boogeyman, and then he lost them and retreated. So
did they evacuate? Did they left?
They went. They retreated.
Was it Chernobyl or no? Was Chernobyl one of them? I can't remember. No?
Yeah, the Ukraine's got Chernobyl back, but I don't know if the Russians have been taking it yet.
Oof.
Yeah. No, Daniel, you think you're joking, Daniel, but seriously, Biden has gone so far left, even Yankee makes fun of him. and does not agree with his politics and in what he's doing. And that's funny considering it's Yankee. I mean, no.
This is true.
So Yankee's pretty pro-gun. I'll give him that. He's got that going for him. Now, I don't agree with everything he says, but as far as the the right to keep and bear arms, we're pretty much square with that one.
Yeah.
He believes in that wholeheartedly, and he should. But yeah.
It's crazy times we're living in, man. I'm telling
you. Daniel says, "Did you see Yankees? What Yankees said the other day? He said he'd never vote for Democrats again after the mag ban in Washington. Well, you know what? He has nobody to blame but himself for voting Democrat. For voting for other Democrats when the entire party's line since I don't know 2012 has been let's get rid of everyone's firearms. That's a great way." And I don't know if you guys have noticed this, and I know I'm going on a tangent here, but I'm making a point. Okay, so follow me here for a second. Okay, look at what happened to Ukraine. They didn't have enough people to fight in their army, so they started handing rifles out to their people to try and protect the country from the invading Russians. Yeah. And people are cheering them on and everything. But Biden here in this country, after he armed an entire country full of terrorists, after he's been sending support to the Ukrainians who are handing rifles to their civilians to help them fight off the Russians, he wants to take all of our guns away. Well, I'll tell you something right now. Biden, go fuck yourself. You can't have them. I'm sorry, I got heated up there, Travis.
Oh man, it's okay. I mean, it's all it's just what really made me mad was when he had come out and was saying that showing off the Palmer 80 guns and then talking about the guns that are captured in crimes with the serial number removed. It's like those guns are not the same thing as a legally made self-owned firearm that you can make yourself and own. That's not the same as the ghost gun that's got the serial number scratched off of it, or a gun that's been stolen and used in a crime. That's to me, that's like, it's like just pulling me into somebody else's problem,
Yep.
I don't know. I'm trying to think of like some other kind of analogy that people could relate to with it that just doesn't make it right. It'd almost be like, I don't know, somebody like stealing cars and causing crimes with cars. And now we're going to start going after everybody's cars because nobody can have them because one person or two people or three people do bad things with them,
Yeah.
That's right.
No, Daniel, you're absolutely right. The situation in Ukraine is the Democrats' fault, specifically Bill Clinton, because in the 90s, he's the one that had people go over there and tell them they don't need their nuclear weapons. Hell, they didn't have to have, 4 or 5 of them. Hell, 1 or 2 of them, I'm sure they could have paid to maintain. I mean, when you're that close to Russia, who has thousands of them, having 1 or 2 near their border would be enough of a deterrent to tell them to have them keep the fuck out of my country. Okay. And, regardless of what anyone says, they didn't have to have like an entire arsenal like the United States or Russia has. All they needed were 1 or 2 nuclear weapons to deter the Russians from invading. Because at that point, if the Russians had invaded, Ukraine and they had nukes, they could have irradiated the borders to keep them out. And that sounds like a bad strategy, but the fact is, when they have more troops than you have, the best thing to do is to bomb the troops. All right. Anyways, we're getting off topic again. Travis, what do you want to talk about tonight? You said you had a couple topics you wanted to go over. Still there, Travis?
I think he is.
There we go. I'm here, guys.
You are muted.
some of the positives out there. One thing I was just going to talk about was student participation in shooting sports and how we're at an all-time high right now in this country.
Shooting sports is good. Shooting sports is good.
Yeah. So, I mean, and you can say, well, they're just Blue Rock shooters. They're just a bunch of FUDs. But, they're families that own firearms. And a lot of those families, I see them out at the range on the weekends. And, kids are shooting Blue Rock while dad's over there with his AR, mom's shooting her pistol, The article
Oh
that
my
I found,
God, you found they made a space cowboy.
Oh, do you want me to talk about that instead?
Yeah, let's talk about that.
Okay.
Oh my God.
Yeah, well,
that looks like the space cowboy I showed a long while ago, where they put an AR adjustable stock on it, and they put handguards from like an AR-15 on it.
The Henry X model, is that what you're talking about?
Yeah, let's talk about that.
Do you want to show it off? Click on the link and show it off, or what?
Yeah, let's see if there's shit.
I want to see.
The question is just how tactical do you really need to make a lever gun? Which to me, they're just tactical by design. They don't need anything more.
Does it need an adjustable gas block if it's lever action?
That's a good point. I don't know.
Is that a gas block? What is that?
No, you mean like the little compensator on the end of it?
No, this knob here.
Hang on a second. I'm looking at.
Is that for the tube? Is that to disassemble the tube? Is that for quick?
That's just the tube magazine on it. It's going to have the side feeder, but it also keeps the tube.
Because I've never seen that kind of design at the end of a barrel.
Well, that whole handguard is this thing's completely custom, dude. I mean, it's all.
I know. Look at that. Look at that. Look at this.
I think
modular butt stock. Look at that thing.
Yeah.
What the hell?
I mean, I like it, but I don't know. George, what do you think about this, man? What's your take on it?
I mean, is it showing up for the YouTube side? Someone check.
Yeah, it's coming on the YouTube side. I see it.
All right.
Yeah, it looks like a tactical.
Look at that.
Like a tactical, what they call lever action.
Yeah. I mean, if it's going to make the gun more effective, then I can't argue against it. But it's like, is there anything wrong inherently with the design of the lever gun as is?
The question is probably priced at like $900 or $1,000.
Oh no, really? Dude, I'm gonna say 15. I'm gonna say I have no idea. I'm gonna say 1,500.
The real question is it really worth that much?
Well, I mean, if you look at the components and the parts and the customization, what they've done to it, I mean, they're gonna justify that cost because it's highly customized lever gun.
It's got a Picatinny rail, Travis. It's got a rail.
Yeah, but look at the handguard alone is probably $200 if you just buy it separately. I mean, those are that machine monoblock handrail. I mean, you've got the customized barrel on it, you got the Cerakote finish, you got the stock.
Yeah.
You got the lanyard, the QD points on it, the sling. I mean, it's totally the only thing that has in common with the traditional lever gun is basically just the receiver, and that's it. I mean, there's nothing else.
I was gonna say the only thing that has in common with an actual lever gun is the actual lever itself and the side loader.
Yeah,
side loading gate. That's it.
Man, that's a ranch rifle for the future, man.
I think we found the Space Force's new rifle.
But I mean, I can put a red dot on. I've got a scope on mine. I mean, I can put a red dot on my standard lever gun, and it's going to be almost as effective as that. I don't know what that's really going to offer for an advantage.
Yeah, that's ridiculous. Anyways, I wanted to go over that real quick.
So. I mean, part of me wants it, but then part of me says, "Oh, this is just so wrong to do and have."
Is it still showing up for everybody?
I hate having to make decisions like that sometimes.
I want everybody to see this. So
yeah,
here, let's see, Henry Model X. Let's see, there's a picture of it.
It's like the Mandalorian's new rifle.
No, this is more like Boba Fett's rifle.
Mm.
So I'm going to look over the Henry website. So the basic X models, let me just click on one just for the heck of it. Just a basic, just slightly modified X model 3030 has an MSRP of $1,000.
That's way too much.
And it doesn't look anything nearly. It's just mostly a furniture modification. That's really about it.
Yeah. And honestly, that's way too much for a lever action for me.
Well, man, I'll tell you. Wait like the Rugers, once they finally come out with the 336 again, I got a feeling it's going to be like a $900 gun. It's not.
I've got a feeling too, because they used to be
Yeah.
a $400 or $500 gun. Now it's like $900 or $800
Yeah.
or $700 on
SPLs,
arms list, and I'm like, no.
The 4570 SPL that just came out. Those are there's gun stores, and this pisses me off. There's gun stores that are selling them for $2,000, which I think is like $700 over MSRP, and it's the gun store doing it.
Stop screen sharing that.
And I understand MSRP is just a suggested retail price, but it's like, come on, guys, really?
Yeah.
Otherwise, I think they're $1,300 for that model. But yeah, the 336 will probably have like a $799 MSRP, but they'll be like $900 if you can find one online, if not more.
Patriot in the dark, don't try and be funny. We know you can't see it. Thank you.
Oh my God, I got blind.
Oh.
Well, Patriot in the dark, let me explain it to you. It looks like a big Cerakoted truck muffler. Okay, that's
that's one that they put a lever on.
A lever on it, yeah. And a sling, yeah.
A lever, a sling, and a Picatinny rail at the top with a micro.
It looks like a stolen catalytic converter.
It does. It really does.
I swear,
I'm just talking crap, but guys. I would buy it in a heartbeat.
You know how futuristic it looks.
What's that?
He says if he's able to hold one, he'd be able to tell that it's futuristic looking, tactical looking,
Travis, you're not married anymore. You should be able to afford one.
Oh, I can. I just don't know if that thing's actually in production.
Yeah, that's a good point. That's a good point.
It could be
just like how EAA said, the MC-P35 is available now, and I'm like, I looked all over for it. It's like, no, it's not.
Nice, Rick. You gotta answer one question for you. How does being divorced like instantly make you wealthy? Isn't that not supposed to be the situation? I mean,
no,
you got the money for that.
It's supposed to give you more money because you're not paying so much for your spouse.
The spouse did contribute a significant portion of the income that's not there.
So what you're saying is she made more money than you did. Okay.
No, not at all. No, it's just that I just don't have to fund the $200 weekend trips to Target. That's all. So yeah, I guess the money really would be there. So yeah.
Target.
She go to Target for like some groceries and then pick up. Of course, I can't talk because I say then I go to Shields and come home with like a lever gun or
Do you have is there like a Target Plus or is it just like regular Target?
Travis, I was messing with you and I wasn't being serious though, right?
Oh yeah.
I know the Target has some grocery foods you can get, but
it's like a super Walmart size Target, the one that we have. Yeah,
that's cool.
We've got some pretty big stores out here. Yeah, we have Target.
$2 super chat from Daniel saying every time he gets divorced, he loses half of his stuff. I'm not gonna curse. I'm not gonna curse Daniel. I've already cursed
George
earlier.
Gets divorced, an angel gets its wings.
Yeah, thinking in my town, we only got one Target and we got like 3 Super Walmarts.
No, Patriot. I'm not.
Almost had 4. So. We almost had 4 for a while, but it became 3 now.
I've never been married, so I no. Mm-mm.
Try it sometime, man. You might like it.
Yeah, sure.
Find yourself one of those, order rides, with Asian or North or was it?
Come on, Jorge. You get a Sabrina around there that you could send his way.
Don't you have? George. Don't you have like a younger cousin or something around there?
No, not. Nothing I know of.
I'm kidding.
He's ready to get out of the valley and go move someplace in the southeast.
If I hear anybody from across, in Mexico who wants to become a U.S. citizen, there you go. I'll let you know.
They have to be single. That's
single. That's the only thing, right? Yeah, there you go.
And Catholic. Which that's most of Mexico, isn't it?
I would mostly, yeah.
George, or I would never ask you to do something like that.
No, I wouldn't do it.
Hey, check the chat.
Yeah.
Never.
Another $2 super chat from Daniel says prenup, way to go once you get nice stuff.
There you go.
Yep. That's exactly.
Because you got to decide who's going to get the Xbox, who's going to get the Switch, who's going to get the dog, who gets the cat.
Oh my God, the Switch.
Yeah. Patriot says, as my buddy Go Bloom says, I'm always looking for the next future expatriate.
Yep. The only one that really matters is who gets the Netflix account. That was really the sticking point in the breakup of the marriage. You know?
Travis, I hope you got it.
No, I did not.
You lost the Netflix account.
I'm still logged in, but she pays.
Ooh. Watch, she'll change the password on you.
Yeah, that's fine. I'm ready for it. I'm ready to move on.
There's not really anything good on Netflix these
When
days.
does this become a marriage chat? Let's get back to guns and topics and Biden scaring us and all this stuff. You know.
Yeah. All right. So, where do you want to go through? Go next. This is more of a you know what. You know,
I'm still intrigued by the Henry model, the Henry X lever action. Is that answering a question that nobody asked for?
Answering a question nobody asked for.
Or is the Henry worthy of time for an evolution to the next, upgrade and usage and adaptability and lethality?
It's like I don't know.
I mean, there's nothing wrong with an adjustable stock to make it fit a wider variety of people and, have, quicker access to your rounds the way that they've got the little side saddles on there and superior side set and a nice muzzle brake and decent looking handguard that you don't mind scratching,
Right.
Instead of a nice wood furniture set that you're going to mess up. But I don't know, man. I like it.
Yeah, I like it too. It looks pretty cool. It's something unique. Something like old and futuristic,
Yeah. A little bit of the old, a little bit of the new. Well, you got that, and you got the side gate loader on top of the tube loader, so you get both of those. I'm not a big fan of the tube loading system personally. Just as a Henry owner, I can complain a little bit about it, but yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Excuse me.
Bless you.
Gracias. All right. De
nada.
Yep.
Yeah, I was going to come into the chat saying, good day. It's like, greetings, comrade. How goes the war? You guys were talking about,
Da, Tovarish.
Sometimes a friend of mine will call me and he'll tell me the same thing too. He's like, he goes, greetings, comrade. How goes the war?
No, it's not comrade. Only Americans say comrade. The Russians say Tovarish.
Tovarish.
Yep.
Tovarish is comrade.
Tovarish is comrade in Russian.
Tovarish. До свидания, Tovarish.
Das Vidania,
Tovarish.
So, anyways, so are we done with the Henry Model X Space Cowboy?
Yeah, I don't know. It's like I was looking around for one. I can't find one for sale. Like most Henrys, you can't seem to find one for sale anywhere you look. So.
Yeah, no.
I thought they built a second factory. Every time I go to Shields, all I see is the 22 LR Golden Boys for sale, like nothing else. And then just like the odd, like just weird one that I wouldn't want, like the silver plated 357 or something. I just want a good traditional blue 30-30.
Yeah, that's cool.
What are you barking at? What are you seeing, Charlie?
Whoa.
He's upset. Hello.
Ask him if Timmy fell down a well.
Did Timmy fall down a well? He does look like a miniature collie, doesn't he?
Yes, he does.
Yes.
Okay, you're waking up the neighbors. Homie. It's enough. There you go. Do that again, I'm going to throw you back at your mom.
Oh. Wow.
That's right. That shut him up quick.
He's like,
just say to me.
Yeah,
no doubt, man.
Yeah.
So what? Nicer. Are we going to talk about the Senate GOP to force vote on nixing Biden's ghost guns rule? Because that would just be magical if that disappeared.
Yeah. Well, did you hear about that? That that right after we didn't hear about it too much this last week. Because all the major news outlets were trying to play up the ghost gun ban because they support disarming of America because they'd rather have Americans as victims than as self-sufficient citizens.
Well, they're okay giving Ukrainian citizens, full auto AKs, and I'm all for it too. But what about back here? Why can't I have that? I mean, what's the difference?
Well, your favorite president, Ronald Reagan, said you couldn't have it in 1986, and anybody who was at least 21 or older that could have spoken out against that, didn't do anything back then because they didn't care.
I don't know, man. So
I
anyway, what's going on? What's going to happen?
Because I was only 3 years old, so there's nothing I could do about it then.
At that time, I just remembered that a story came out on 60 Minutes, and when they were talking about, banning assault rifles and stuff like that, it was like these guys that went to a gun store and they're walking out with like 3 boxes of, like they had like 2 or 3 rifles with them. They were trying to buy up whatever they could get before, they can't get anymore. I was like, geez, man. And I was a young kid that time too. So I was kind of like, what?
George, you're probably a teenager then, right?
Yeah, somewhere around there.
Yeah. So.
But yeah, I can still remember those guys in camouflage and stuff. They had gone to a gun store. They're walking out with 3 boxes of, rifles that they just bought.
So,
dude, I was 9 years old. I had no idea what was going on in the world.
Yeah, I remember when I was in junior high, and now it's middle school, what they call it. I was seeing a friend's magazine and stuff, and he was showing me like rifles and stuff, right? And he said, "Yeah, I want to get one of these. It's the AR-15, man. It's just like the rifles they use in the military, except it's semi-auto." And I was like, "Wow, that's cool, man. Man, I like to get one too." And yeah, from there on, I started liking them.
Yeah.
Started liking, military rifles and stuff.
Yeah, but last week, Senator Ted Cruz, Mike Braun, and James Lankford, and Mike and Lee from Utah. So it's like Senators Ted Cruz, Texas, Mike Braun, Indiana, James Lankford, Oklahoma, Mike and Lee, Utah, plan to use a little-known tactic to block the ATF rule that takes aim at home gun makers via regulating 80% lower receivers. The lawmakers argue the change planned by the Biden administration would do little to impact crime and only stands to continue a simmering push against legal guns and gun owners. They went on to say, for the past 2 years, we've seen crime rates skyrocket all across the country, aided by Democrats' soft on crime policies and left-wing district attorneys operating like progressive activists instead of law enforcement officers, said Cruz. Democrats would love nothing more than to shift the blame and stoke anti-gun sentiment and create a permanent national gun registry in the process, which they've almost already done that. By introducing this resolution, we're pushing back. We want to stop the Biden administration from issuing the final rule expanding the definition of firearms and instituting a national gun registry. We want to stop the false narrative that links the rise in crime to ghost guns, which I don't know if you know, but they lied about that.
Mm-hmm.
The Biden administration and the ATS push on ghost guns, saying, "Oh, we're fighting ghost guns all over the place." Turns out we caught them on the lie. How about that? Rising crime to ghost guns and firearms, and we want to protect law-abiding citizens who are exercising their Second Amendment rights. The roadblock tapped by the GOP is Congressional Review Act joint resolution of disapproval. Under the CRA, Congressional Review Act, the Nonpartisan Government Accountability Office compiles a report on the rule change, which can include legal opinions, which Congress can use in its review of the rule change. A simple majority vote in both chambers signed by the president can block a rule from taking place while preventing the agency, in this case the ATF, from reissuing a substantially similar rule in the future. While the current Congress could presumably muster enough votes between Republicans and a handful of shaky Dems facing re-election in red to purple districts, it is unlikely the president would sign such a measure, as he publicly made much of the looming crackdown on ghost guns. Travis, did you see his call on ghost guns? He was literally shaking hands with the ghost as he was making this this statement on how he's cracking down on ghost guns.
I mean, he was just so anxious to hands one of those P80 frames and go make his own, that he just started doing it right there at the podium.
Yeah, he was shaking hands with ghosts.
I know.
I mean, it's just like
everywhere he looks, there's just ghost guns everywhere, man. I mean, that's
he has to disarm those ghosts.
Exactly.
They're not allowed to have guns anymore.
Oh, so many ghosts. Somebody got to call Ghostbusters.
Yeah.
Hey, man, who are you going to call?
Yeah.
Ghostbusters, baby. Oh, yeah.
According to the National Conference of State Legislators, the CRA process has only successfully blocked or overturned 17 rules since 1996, although it has been attempted over 200 times. Nonetheless, even if the CRA Hail Mary pass is unsuccessful, pro-Second Amendment groups plan to see the Biden administration in court should the final receiver rule become law. Biden's recent move to expand our nation's gun registry is legal. We applaud Senator Cruz and his Senate colleagues on fighting this unconstitutional rule with a CRA, said Aiden Johnston, Gun Owners of America, Director of Federal Affairs. We will sue the Biden administration to halt implementation of this anti-Second Amendment rule and are pleased to see members of the Senate sending a clear message that they will not tolerate this unlawful authority. And that's the end of the article, but it begs the question. I was having a discussion with some other people, and apparently building your own guns at home, building your own firearms has been a trend since the beginning, even before the founding of this nation. Apparently. And he just wants to get rid of it now because now if you make a gun at home, you don't, they don't like it because there's no serial number on it. Well, did anybody tell Biden that serial numbers weren't on firearms until after the 1968 Gun Control Act?
I'm afraid not. Like I said, I really think that he's just grasping for anything he can do to get a win.
I've got a 22 bolt action rifle that is older than President Biden that has no serial number. Because until 1968, manufacturers weren't required by law to put serial numbers on their guns.
It's kind of good though. Nice Strike. It's kind of good sometimes that these representatives and congressmen and stuff are so ignorant of the Second Amendment and our actual guns that they really don't know how to properly go after them. So, I mean, do we want them to be more two-way aware? I mean, that's the big question. I prefer to have them just kind of ignorant so they keep making mistakes on their own and screwing themselves up and getting themselves.
I get that. I get that, but at the same time, I'd like to be able to throw that in their faces because they didn't do their research. They didn't do their due diligence. They just
write a letter to the ATF and ask them if you have to have that serialized according to. Just kidding, of course. Don't do that.
No, I'm not. No, Travis. You broke the golden rule. You broke the golden rule.
Was that to talk about Fight Club?
No.
Oh,
you know what the golden rule is?
Don't ask the ATF anything.
Exactly. The first rule of gun ownership is don't ask the ATF questions.
Exactly.
The second rule of gun ownership is you don't ask the ATF questions.
Or Fight Club.
It's like when people would ask about braces, they would say, Can we shoulder the brace? He goes, people are saying, yeah, you can do it, but they kept asking ATF about it, and now ATF goes, oh, well, people have been doing that? Oh, okay, well, let's tell people they can't do that anymore, I'm like, geez, that's why you don't pester the ATF.
Coop is out there, C&T Designing Arms. I missed him. He says, I want to see Brandon build a ghost with the parts he had. I hope they got that shit from JSD Supply. I don't know. I don't think they did. I think they probably just used whatever they seized from Polymer 80. Coop is saying the only reason firearms had serial numbers before 68 was for inventory and tracking. Yeah, and probably for, repairs and maintenance and whatnot. If it was under warranty or not. If they even offered a warranty before that. Yeah. What else? That's all he said. Daniel saying, nice strike. Is it acceptable to call the ATF and ask when they're changing the name to AFT, though? No, Daniel, you're breaking the first rule of gun ownership. Do not ask the ATF questions.
It doesn't matter what kind of question it is.
It doesn't matter what kind of question it is. Bad.
Yeah, don't.
Remember the second rule of gun ownership. You don't ask the ATF questions.
Actually, start raising all these questions about Nerf guns, so they go after Nerf guns and leave guns alone. They'll be so obsessed with trying to ban Nerf guns because they look so much like real guns. They'll forget about real guns for a while. We can actually keep living our lives.
Well,
look, we're just trying to stall. We're just trying to stall until the end of the game. We're 1 point up right now. We just got to finish ahead.
Travis, that's a slippery slope. Remember what happened to all our airsoft guns?
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Remember that one rogue ATF agent that went on national television and outed himself as a dumbass, saying they were readily convertible to real firearms, and I'm like, no, they're not.
Really? I mean, like, don't get me wrong. You could jerry rig something to put a bullet down the barrel.
By the way, he lost his job over that. By the way,
that's good. He should. How do you work for the Department of Alcohol, Tobacco, and Firearms if you know what a firearm is or how it works? You know,
right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Of course, that was during the Obama era, but again, I'm just saying because Anyways, so. Moving on. What else do we have? Why don't we talk about that poll you were talking about earlier?
Yeah, we can do that.
We still got a few minutes left.
So there's still hope.
It's a small article. I can go through it in a few minutes. It says a recent national poll found that respondents were disinclined to say more gun control would fix the country's crime problems. You don't say. You don't say. According to the results of a Rasmussen Reports national telephone and online survey released last week, 51% of likely voters didn't think additional gun control was the answer to recent well-publicized upticks in violent crime. Of the balance, just 38% had an appetite for more regulations. Well, I'm sorry, but 38% isn't the majority, is it? No, it's not. Further, majorities of every political category, 67% of Republicans, 52% of Democrats, and 59% of unaffiliated voters agree it isn't possible to completely prevent mass shootings. No, because it doesn't matter if you get rid of the weapon they use. They'll just use another tool, another weapon instead. If you get rid of the guns, they'll use blunt objects. They'll use knives. They'll use pointy sticks. They'll use whatever is there available to them to do the dirty deed because they're going to do the dirty deed one way or the other. It doesn't matter what they have in their hands. They're going to do it regardless. And it's not to say that it hasn't happened hundreds of years before we had a national news cycle, a 24-hour news cycle. It happened 100 years ago. It happened 200 years ago. It happened, before America was even a country. It happened in other countries too. So don't give me this shit that, this mass shootings, can be prevented if you get rid of guns. They won't. Look at England. Look at Australia. They got rid of guns. Guess what? Everyone got killed or got hurt with blunt objects or knives or swords or whatever the hell they had with them other than guns. Has it lowered crime? Has it had any effect on the crime rate in those countries whatsoever? No, the crime rate went up. And if you look at England, because they got rid of guns and their police officers don't carry around guns, they had police officers running away from a terrorist who had knives and was killing people on a bridge.
Is that the one where he was stopped with the horn from a narwhal by a chef?
I don't know.
That's what it was, right? Yeah, the guy grabbed a narwhal horn off of the wall from the hotel he was working in and went charging into the bad guy with the knife to stop him.
Yeah,
so,
but instead of trying to stop him and enforcing the law, The police officers ran away in the other direction because they didn't have guns. They didn't have anything on them to enforce the law. And that's why I say you get rid of firearms from the country, crime rate is going to go through the roof. Yeah. And we're seeing that right now. They're trying to take away the guns from this country, and the crime rate is increasing exponentially, especially with their failed policies.
Mm-hmm.
Who knew?
I remember when YouTube was young at the time and would upload anything they could. A friend of mine had the same conversation about people trying to ban guns and stuff, governments and stuff. He goes, what happens if they ban guns? Well, people would make their own type of weapon. It didn't matter what it was. There was a guy that did paper mache type rifles or pistols, and he would shoot darts. And granted, it wasn't very powerful, but it would tell you that if the guy had more chance to research it, he could make a weapon out of whatever, and now you see people make, homemade guns, guns and guns that, like pipes that shoot shotgun shells or something like that. There's always a way somebody will make a weapon out of no matter what type of material, whether it fires bullets or it can fire darts. People can make their own bows, crossbows, and all this kind of stuff. It's still a weapon, and people could still use it against other people.
Absolutely.
So like you said, you bet you're gonna ban a gun or firearms, more like that you think it's gonna solve the problem. It doesn't, because somebody out there will figure out a way to use, like you said, knives, swords, vehicles, bombs. Anything that somebody could just think of to cause.
Actually, that reminds me, in some of the most restrictive states in our country, because they've taken guns away from the civilians, we've already proven that they'll just use another medium. Because remember that Home Depot truck?
Yeah,
the guy ran over a whole bunch of people in New York.
Yeah,
that's right.
So it's, as I said, it doesn't matter whether you take away the guns or not. If somebody has the intent to do evil, they will do evil no matter what. It doesn't matter what tool they have to use.
Yeah.
So with that, I think we made a breakthrough here. So let's go through the room and get everyone's outro and get on out of here. So. So George, you were in here, second to last. So let us know who you are and where we can find you on social media.
Oh, okay. First of all, thanks for the invite, and it's great to always be here. Excuse me, I'm George Cortez, also known as South Texas AR Guy. You can look me up on Instagram, where you can follow me there. And so far, that's the only part right now where you can follow me under South Texas AR Guy. And YouTube, it's George Cortez. And that's about it.
Okay.
And everything else. Thanks again. Again.
All right. Warsaw, we're closing up. Do you have any final words of wisdom?
Freedom is not free.
No, it's not. No, it's not. So
costs $1.05, people.
No,
$1.05.
I thought it was $1.09.
Hey, Travis.
It's gone up with inflation.
You get inflation, Travis. You got inflation right now.
Hold up.
That's right. $1.09.
No.
I gotta play something real quick.
No. We're not playing anything. Don't do it. I don't want to get caught.
Playing Eye of the Tiger, and he's gonna do a training montage.
Calm the hell down.
Oh, as we're closing. No. I can get copyrighted for that.
Wasn't that in Hunt for Red October? Didn't they play that when the sub was underwater?
Yeah, I can't. If I get copyrighted on that, Warsaw, I'm smacking you.
Hey, listen. That's what happened when it gave up freedom.
Okay, we got a $2 super chat from Daniel.
Says still in the chat.
Says Warsaw Patriot always enjoys a good poll.
Well, Daniel made it out of timeout, huh?
Yeah, He found a way.
Just in
Daniel,
time to get his wallet and do a super chat. So that's good.
Daniel
You're a
finds a
bitch.
way. So there we go. Travis,
Yeah.
what you got for us? What
I got a
can
lot
we
of
look
stuff to
for?
talk about. So, all right. So, real quick, I got Thursday night Caliber Corner from 6 to 7 Central Time, the only time zone that really matters on this planet. And then I've got Caliber Corner Saturday mornings at 8 a.m. Central Time. That's going to be kicking off Saturday. We talk guns. And then also Thunder on the Prairie 2022, little range day going on June 4th. Email me at thecalibercorner@gmail.com if you want to come to that range day. It's $25 for the whole day. We're going to have a bunch of channels there, filming, shooting, having a good time. And it's going to be just south of Lincoln, Nebraska, 9 to 5 on June 4th. So be there. You got to be there.
Travis, do we know what we're talking about on Thursday?
Yeah, we're talking about the Mossberg. What is it? The 702 Plinkster and the Rossi RS22. The little 22s that could.
Little 22s that could. All right.
Yeah. Well, we could bring just have a 22 LR rifle discussion, just like our favorites, 1022 or whatever people like. But I'm gonna talk
Savage 64F is a good cheap alternative to, I'll be honest, I don't like the 10 round magazine capacity, but I tell you what, $99 for a semi-automatic 22 rifle is probably the best $99 I ever spent.
It is and the Rossi's only about, I got mine for 122, so it wasn't much more, but it's shares a platform with the Mossberg. They come off the same assembly line in Brazil.
Yeah, as the Mossberg 704. I would have rather gotten a Rossi, but the Rossi, but unfortunately, I had to go with the Walmart one just because it was $99 instead of $100.
Oh yeah, no, those are I've had a.
It was right there in front of me. I needed a 22 rifle, and I didn't have one.
Yep.
So.
Oh, cool.
So
there was that. So we're going to talk about that on Thursday. So check Travis out, Caliber Corner.
Absolutely, man. Weekly edition on Thursday, weekend edition on Saturday.
All right.
Cool.
All right. And I think I am feeling better now. So depending on how things go, I don't know what time we'll do it, but we will try and we will try and do another episode, or not really episode, but another
hit or miss,
another chat this week, as far as we'll talk about probably just whatever anybody wants to jump in and talk about. But we're going to try and do the Friday Night Strike again.
Ooh.
Nice.
So things are getting back. It's just taking a little while to get back in the groove. It just depends on what's going on. So with that, we'll see you guys later. Thank you all for listening. Thank you for hanging out with us and commenting and being part of the chat. And if you can, please check out the PayPal link in the description of the video. If you can throw a few dollars our way to help the channel out, please do so. If you want to see some of the extra content I do produce when I produce it, check out my Patreon page. Also, if you can, check out guntube.org. Check out GunTube's the GunTube's store. Check out GunTube's Patreon and PayPal, because I need help with GunTube. It's going, but I need more support. So if you can, spread the word out there for GunTube, guys. And with that, we'll see you guys later. Take it easy, and shall not be infringed.
No,
hey, Alicia, bésame como si no verme nunca más, chica. That's right.
¿Por qué?
¿Por qué?
Simon
Limon.
I have to say this properly.
Come on, Warsaw, join in the Spanish chat.
I have to say this properly.
Okay.
Hasta la vista.
Oh, there you go.
Me hablo no español.
Me hablo no español.
Yeah. No, speak a Jaffa.
No
Adios,
hablo Taco Bell.
Felicia.
No hablo Taco Bell.
Te amo.